So I've been seeing a bunch of videos pertaining to high value men and the red pill recently. There are a lot of divorced, dusty, deadbeat, convicted criminal men these days making videos advising and critiquing women on how to get a high value man. I've come to the conclusion that these men making these videos aren't actually high value themselves. In fact, many of these men, women wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. The term high value man is laughable. Any man deeming himself high value, in my opinion, is a fraud. And these women yearning for their advice, which is usually not advice, but these men seeking pleasure in demeaning these women and taking advantage of their insecurities. I would advise these women to seek therapy. I'm assuming that the men watching these channels are there to also seek pleasure in bringing down women to satisfy their own shortcomings. For I would not see how a high value man has time to watch these videos. If you as a man have time to watch these channels, you should realize you are not high value after all. Because a high value man wouldn't have time to watch these channels to seek out advice of men who are clearly complainers. All I hear is complaining about women having more options. Women wanting the top 1%. Women wanting this and that. So what? Why don't you man up? Is it our fault you can't compete? Well, I'm sorry. It's about the fittest of the fit, and that's it. Life's not fair. These same men will complain about promiscuous women on Instagram, but yet will like these women's pictures and slide in their DMs. Does that make any sense? The worst thing about this, I think, is women actually yearning for these men's advice. You see, time and time again, these women are setting up themselves for failure by going on these channels. Do you not realize that anything you say will always be spun into something negative? You're talking to a person who's already made up their mind to be against you. So what's the point? You're making these men famous for no reason. They would be nothing without you, and they know it. These men are frauds. Many of them don't lead the lives that they claim they do, and that they claim high-value men should have. Many of these men have wives whom they would be embarrassed to show, because their wives are normal, everyday women, contrast to what they desire. We have now more of the Kevin Samuels, the Funky and Frauds, the Dusty Jacksons, who live different than what they say. You should be questioning yourself before you take advice from these people. Do you want to be a man or have a man who doesn't pay child support, who's been divorced multiple times? Do you want to be a man or listen to a man who claims his wife is what he desires when she's not? Do you want to be a man or want a man who needs to use his business, and I mean business in quotations, to con women on Instagram to bed them? Do you want to be a man or want a man who needs to lead with lies of owning a boat to get a woman? Women, please wake up. Work on yourselves. Love yourselves. You are the prize. Don't answer dumb questions like, what do you bring to the table? That's a red flag. So let's talk about their definition of high value man that I keep seeing. The main point of these men is that high value men are men with money. I have not so far heard anything pertaining to having emotional intelligence that these men so much lack. I'm not here to define the definition of a high value man. I will talk more about that in another video explaining my opinion on what to look for in a man. If you were to use the same definition of a high value man as these men, the number one requirement is money. Then many of their viewers should realize most of them aren't high value men themselves, since the median income for men is around 60K. Yet these viewers are out here proclaiming to be high-value men and demanding attention from women and becoming incels. Just like they're out here claiming women are delusional, I don't hear anything about the delusion of these men. And no, you don't automatically deserve women because you claim to be high value. You are laughable. The audacity of these men when they need to go clean up themselves. You're not high value, nor do you have the accolades to advise women about seeking high value men when you are far from that. That's all I have to say today. I will do more videos soon. Please subscribe. I will have an upcoming video about the failure of fathers, their psyche, and culture. Stay tuned.